Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Ankur and today we are diving deep into the something that often confuses Next.js developer, generate static params. In this video, I am going to break it all down for you. So, what is we discuss something like what is generate static params, when and where, why you should use it, and a step-by-step example in which we can see a listing of product and their detail page and how the static and the dynamic rendering. Alongside, we can also see how we can use the generate static params in that. So, if you are ready to level up your Next.js skills and make your project faster and more efficient, make your watch till the end. And of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you can never miss out on awesome web development content. Alright, let's jump in. Let's discuss what is generate static params. So here, I present you a small description about what is generate static params are. So here, we see that generate static params is a function that consists of number of works for which they are used. First of all, it was used for work alongside dynamic route segments, secondly to generate static route during the build time instead of a demand at request time, and giving us a nice performance boost. Before understanding generate static param, let's discuss a small examples by building the product detail page and also the project listing page in our video today. So let's do that. So let's move on to the Visual Studio Code. So here we already reach out to our Visual Studio Code. In this, you can go to the app folder, the on-side app folder. You have to create a folder with the name product. In this example, I will show you the product listing page and also their detail page. And after that, how we can see how the static and dynamic rendering works. And after that, we can use the generate static params in this video example. So here in the app folder, we can create a new with the name product. And inside product, we can create a new file with the name page.tsx. And in this, we can create a function related to the product detail page, product listing page. So let's copy paste our code into it. So here you can see I have created the product page in which the feature product will be seen, and in which the product will be seen. Here I have built a product function. In this, you can see the inside h1 tag is a feature product, and we have 3 links over here, which is showing product 1, which is showing a link towards product 1, product 2, and product 3. Also, so this is for the product feature product, and after that we can also build a detail page for it, in which we have to create a handling the ID, which is a dynamic. So for handling the dynamic ID, we can create a new folder inside product with the name bracket ID, which holds the dynamic ID, and also we can create a page.tsx inside that, and we just copy paste the code. So here you can see that in the we have the product detail page, which is consist of which also has a async function in the product page, which accepts param as an ID, which they are reaching from the feature page. Like that, when we click on the product +1, so it receives the dynamic ID, which is held by the folder on the bracket, which holds the dynamic ID of the each and every product. After that, in this we have function of product which accept a parent, and parent is of type promise, which is of type string. After that, we can destructure the ID from the by using await parent. And in this, we are returning an h1 tag of product and passing the product ID detailed rendered at new date dot to local time to it. So you can see that we have already created that. So now let's create a build for this particular example. So let's create a build for it. Now we can run npm run build, and we have to wait for this to that product. Before running this, for it or that, we have to just remove our .next folder, which we already have in this project. So let me remove this particular folder. After removing this particular folder, we will create a build for this current for which we have created the dynamic product listing and the detail page of it. So now here the .next folder has been deleted. So let's create a build. Now npm run build. So in this, when we creating a build, so we can get we have to wait for a time to it has been creating a build for it. So here you can see that our build has been created successfully, and in this and in this you can find route and tag, which already discussed in the previous video. In this you can see come legend that is of circle, which is of type pre-rendered or the static content like static, and after that insert which is you shown in the under which you show this side, not on page, about page, dashboard page, and product page. Product page is basically a feature page which we have just created in this example. And if you keep closing that in the product plus ID, so here Next.js doesn't know which is the ID, so it will be treated as a dynamic page. So if you run this particular example, so here you can see the product slash ID act as a dynamic rendering, means it is served when on demand. So when you run this particular project like npm run start, and when you visit localhost, let's visit localhost 3000. So when you visit localhost 3000 products slash 1, you see if we click on F12, and if you reload that, you can see that no page, this is for dynamic rendering. And one more to discuss is that if you go to the .build folder over here and you go to the server, and inside that go to the pages, so here you can see you go to the app folder, so here you can see that you don't find the page for the product slash for ID pages, because it is a dynamic rendering page. So here you can see not found HTML, about HTML, dashboard HTML, and index.html, and also the product.html in the end. But you haven't found the product plus ID because it is a dynamic rendering. So these all which have the HTML page are the static rendering as you seen after the build in this. So when you visit on the browser, so when you click on the product page, so when you reload this particular page, so it is generated on the demand. So this is how you can see that it is changing. It is not any static, and so this is a dynamic to show that it is dynamic rendering from the server side. As you know that we are already making many videos on Next.js. So you know that when the static rendering works, it is better in terms of performance. So what if we told Next.js that you should load the feature product detail page of RDIC. Like suppose we want product 1, product 2, product 3 to be loaded as a static routing, because it is more fast as compared to the performance issue, not as compared to the dynamic. So for this we have a function available in Next.js which is we call as GenerateStaticParams. So let's do that. So we go to the detail page of page ID, and inside the product page we can create another function with the name export async function. We can this function to an async function which is named GenerateStaticParams, which is a type of which return the type of object. The object holds the ID of a route. So here if you go to the product feature pro, we have 1, 2, 3. So we can list all the route parameter over here with the name. It has a pair of key and value. So ID is our key and the value is a 1 or 2 or 3. So if we go to the feature, we have 1, 2, 3 ID over there. So we can path this object inside the GenerateStaticParams. So we can just copy paste to it, and we can pass our ID to 3, and we can give to. So when you are using the GenerateStaticParams, so it will make your route as a static loading when you first time load the page. So let's create a new build for this. So stop the server. Now we have create npm run build, and we can just create a build over here. So we have to wait for this in order to complete our build, so that our build get ready for it. So here you can also find some new so here our build is already getting ready. So here you can see that in the under the product slash ID you can see another legend which is a filled circle, which denote, if you scroll down this page, so we denote SSG, pre-rendered static HTML use GenerateStaticParams. So here with the help of GenerateStaticParams you can load this content of feature detail page of 1, 2, 3 ID as a static content. So here if you go to the build page on the side of build, here go to the server and go to the app folder. Inside app folder you have a product folder over there. So here you can see that 1, 2, 3 HTML pages. The 1, 2, 3 ID of their HTML page has been generated as a static content over there with the help of GenerateStaticParams. And in this you can also see the product. So when you run this particular, now let's run the server. when npm run start. So when you run this particular server, go to the browser. So now when reload this page, so now you can see that our timestamp is not reloading because it is loading because it is coming from dynamic content. So we already show you that in the that it is coming as a static pre-rendered HTML. So when first time it will load the when you visit logo 3000 and click on plus product 1 or product 2, like product 2, visit product /2. So here you can reload this. So now you can see product 2, not product. So now when you reload, your timestamp doesn't change because it is act as a static content to you, not as a dynamic content. Because before it is act as a dynamic content in which the timestamp is changing per second when you reload this particular page. But now with the help of GenerateStaticParams, we have converted that page, or we can load that content with as a static content, not as a dynamic content. So this is why your timestamp of the time is not changing effectively. So now this is based on the single ID. What about if we have multiple routes? Then how we have to use them in the GenerateStaticParams? So let's move on to the slide. So here you can see that when we have multiple dynamic route segment, suppose we have a product catalog with categories and product, and we have products, and we have a URL as product category / products / page.tsx. In this, then how we have to display that particular thing. Then here you can see in the code below that if you can create a export async function GenerateStaticParams, and you can return you have a two category of category and product, and you can pass electronic smartphones and books, and category as product, books and smartphones, like that. So here how you can create the GenerateStaticParams in this with the help of GenerateStaticParams as a static content. So when you are using the multiple dynamic route segment. Now for this today video, it is for, I hope you alright, that is for today. I hope you have a clear understanding of how GenerateStaticParams work in Next.js, how we are able to create the static content with the help of GenerateStaticParams. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell icon for more web development tips and tricks. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you.